Start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, and shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. You know, we at it again on the highways and byways, pushing our prophecy. You know, the destruction of America is on the horizon. You know, you have different prophecies come to pass on a high and extreme level, and this devil is getting exposed more and more. So-called white man scandals is coming out. You know, the economy is falling. You got different countries that's actually detaching themselves away from the U.S. currency, and that all indicates that the end of America, man. Because before a society fully topples and bottoms out, the main things that hit a society is its financial market, its economic market, the morality shows its face, and we already know the moral conduct of America is at the very, very bottom. We're basically living in a third world country. The disease and the crime rate is skyrocketing. We have different nations that's actually a part of the assembly of the EU and NATO breaking apart, such as Britain, the Brexit. So what are all these things showing? It's showing the end of the USA. All these famines and all this hell that's going on in these different countries internationally is all coming to a city near you. Whether you're living in the Bronx, whether you're living in Brooklyn, whether you're living in Chicago, New Orleans, whether you're living in Atlanta. All right, Tampa, all throughout the West Coast, America's gonna get hit through all directions, from the West Coast to the East Coast, north to south, man. And that's where the men of the Lord, the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is out here to declare. All right, you got that? As a matter of fact, you get Jeremiah 28. Because before each and every society failed, the Lord always raised up men of the Lord prophets to actually prophesy against the downfall of America. And you read it throughout the scriptures. The major empires in world history, secular scholars that's involved in the secular history all say that the top empires, of course, of all time was Babylon, the Persian and the Mede Empire, Greece, Rome, and America, which America stems out of the British Empire. All right, and all these kingdoms, these empires were written of in the scriptures. When Babylon fell, you had the prophet Isaiah, the prophet Jeremiah. Various prophets prophesied of the downfall of Neo-Babylon. Same thing with the Medo-Persian Empire. You had Daniel that was actually in the midst of the Medes and the Persian Empire. As a matter of fact, if you can find the scripture, many Tekel Upharsin and Daniel, read that Jeremiah 28 and 8.
All right, this is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yeah, it says the prophets of old prophesied against war and of evil and of pestilence. So when the prophets actually hit the street corners and the gore in the marketplace, what did they prophesy? They prophesied whether they was living in Babylon, they prophesied the fall of Babylon. The Medes and the Persian Empire. When they was living in the Medo-Persian Empire, they prophesied that the Medes and the Persians would fall, such as Daniel's prophecies. All right, and we'll get that. It was at Daniel 11 and 1. You know, same thing with Greece. When Greece was elevating itself with Alexander the Greek, and they was establishing the empire of Greece, the Grecian rule. You had prophets, men of the Lord, that was prophesying the downfall of Greece. You had houses of Israelites that fought and came against Greece. All right, and they told them that they were going to fall. They told the kings. Some of them actually personally talked to the kings of those kingdoms, man. Such as Daniel. Daniel talked to certain kings. Darius the Mede. Cyrus, you know, is written of as written in the scriptures that he would be raised up and he would fall. His kingdom will fall into ruins. Nebuchadnezzar, his kingdom will fall into ruins. During the time in Genesis with Joseph of Egypt, he actually talked to the Pharaoh and told him that it was going to be a famine that would plague his land for a space of seven years, man.
Sure.
All right, it would have 7 years of plenty. It would be a high level of increase, and the aftermath of it would be 7 years of famine. And what did that do? That actually put the spirit on that Pharaoh of that time to actually culminate and to actually store up corn and various other substances. All right, and that's world history. All right, the famine of Egypt. So it's the same thing now. The men of the Lord, all the men of the Lord that prophesied in Egypt, they prophesied in Babylon, they prophesied in Rome, Greece, the Persian and the Mede Empire, they're here today. Daniel is here today. Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Nahum, Jonah, Micah, Zephaniah, Zechariah. All of them are here to prophesy against the biggest and the greatest kingdom of all, which is America, Babylon the Great. Continue on.
All right. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
So what did Jeremiah do? Jeremiah said the prophets that were before him of old, the prophets that predated his predecessors, prophesied against kingdoms and countries. So when Jeremiah took place, what did he do? He prophesied against kingdoms, prophesied against countries, prophesied the destruction of Babylon. Hey, and Jeremiah got locked up for preaching that word. All right? So it's the same thing with the men of the Lord. We're not here to actually tell the people the prosperity of this place. We're going to tell them their economy is going to crash. And we always say their economy because we don't belong to this place, man. We're servants of Yahweh Shah. We fighting for our city, New Jerusalem. And before New Jerusalem is raised up, this kingdom has to be broken down. That's more.
Continuing on, it says, and against great kingdoms of war
and
evil.
World War III is coming to America. And in that third world war is going to be a thermonuclear holocaust. It's going to burn this place to smithereens. And that's Bible prophecy. And you got these scholars get into the biblical narrative. They'll get high into the scriptures. They'll look into the prophecies of Jeremiah. They'll link it with the prophecies of Isaiah. Get into Daniel. Get into the Apocrypha, Second Ezra. And they'll all say, and through their conclusive research, the ones that actually study these biblical facts accurately, they'll all prove without a shadow of a doubt and see without a shadow of a doubt that America is that last kingdom. All right, continue on.
And a pestilence.
And a pestilence outbreak. What's a pestilence or a plague? Disease outbreak, epidemic. All right, and we always speak about how the CDC is in Atlanta. And when you watch these different shows that come on Netflix and a lot of these movies, all of them are really post-apocalyptic. They all project the downfall of the country, martial law. You know, those are the big hits that's shown in the theater. Purge. The Purge just came out a couple months back. Hey, you had a lot of individuals that went to watch that movie. They get a thrill out of seeing all this disaster and all these things coming. But they really don't believe that these things are going to actually show themselves right in their face, right on their doorstep. But we actually go into we watch these movies, we watch these different shows, and see the destruction and disaster that's come to these countries, and we link it all with the prophecies. Because the scriptures already said, like the brother just said, plagues is going to hit this place. Meaning disease outbreak, quarantines. And whenever there's a disease outbreak and there's a quarantine, what do they have? They have the troops outside, man. So if anybody actually leave those quarantine borders, they actually have full access to shoot. You'll watch the movie. You'll watch that on the movie The Crazies. When those individuals, they was bugged out. It was a heavy plague that was spilling out all throughout the land. And the individuals that had the plague, you had the troops that would shoot them up, kill them, and set their bodies on fire. But that's the easiest way to clean a dead body or a carcass is by fire. Because when somebody dies, in most cases, the disease is still looming. And when your body breaks up and deteriorates, what does it do? It releases a lot of toxins. So whatever pestilence, whatever virus or bacteria strain or whatever fungus, whatever type of plague that was inserted in that body, when they die, they go through basically, they go through the rigor mortis, and they'll go through the process where their body goes through the releasing. And that's what actually plagues and kills a lot of people too. So what do? They'll burn up the bodies. And that's going to come to America, man.
Yeah, they even showed it in that movie, that little Netflix miniseries Contagion, where it was based in Atlanta. How basically they took those railroad storage units that they got over there, Inman Park, Onaburg Station, Martin Station, and they barricaded the city. That's the same thing that's going to happen. The pestilence is going to be so worse. They're going to have to quarantine the city. They're going to have to block off the city. So that's going to result in a lot of deaths. They also got these outbreaks that Esau, the so-called white man, brings out, like the Black Death Plague that hit Madagascar and Africa about a year and a half ago. They're just using those in these different countries as a test run, and then they're going to soon enough, like the brother said, you got the CDC in Atlanta. They got the Black Death Plague, they got the H1N1, they got the smallpox, swine flu, all those diseases that was coming out year in, year out. They're gonna spread it over here, man.
And they got upgraded versions of those. Because the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, all they do is take those diseases and they'll splice them. They'll splice them, they'll enhance them, they'll mutate them to the point where your body's genetic makeup can't fend them off. And the area of trial run, like the brother said, is always in Africa. That's why HIV, when you look at the HIV population, the main place that's hit by HIV is Africa. Ebola.
Man traveled back to the United States to call their outbreak.
And there's always some bullshit story of some African having sex with animals. You had individuals committing bestiality since the beginning of time. Why the hell they didn't get HIV back then? But now all of a sudden HIV is just running rampant. This individual had sex with a monkey, or this monkey contracted a disease, and he had sex with one individual, two turned to millions, and now the whole country is plagued. But the so-called white men, the truth is, the so-called white men put that disease all throughout Africa, East Africa, and West Africa, North Africa, South Africa, and use that as a test room to one, depopulate Africa, and the two, test his weapons, man.
But if I can say also too, you got pestilence here right now. You got the HIV and AIDS in Atlanta, and the HIV and AIDS epidemic is on the level of a third world country like Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
So Esau put that out there too. All right, so we telling you these things to the scriptures to let you know that the times that we in, there's going to be even more pestilence that's going to lead to people dropping dead, and we out here to warn you, the people on this chart, of the evils that's to come.
Yeah. And what's funny too about the pestilence, you'll look at these different pestilence charts, you'll look at HIV charts, you'll look at different disease charts, Ebola charts, and you'll see what countries is not getting hit by it. Yeah. You don't see Austria. You don't see a lot of Arab countries. Why? Because a lot of Arab countries don't even allow America in their borders, man, to push out that bullshit. Because when America comes in different countries, what does the thief come with? To steal, kill, and destroy. Not only just markups and federal loans and the IMF burning out the country and putting a high level of debt on the people and interest rates, but they push out all kind of pestilences and diseases and poison the hell out of the people, man. But ultimately, it's all divinely inspired by Yahweh Shema Shaka. The Lord hates Hamites, man, Africans. The Lord hates you other nations. And it's all projected to show that we're at the end of times, man. What the scripture says is going to come like a woman in travail. Labor pain is at an all-time high all over the world globally, man. You got more?
Look at verse 9. All right, this is Jeremiah 28:9. The prophets which prophesy of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him.
Yeah, and the men of the Lord hated peaceful prophets, man. Prosperity prophets. Jeremiah, Isaiah, they hated those individuals. You had one individual that didn't prophesy. If I'm not mistaken, it's now Isaiah. He prophesied of basically peace, and the Most High put that nigga to death, man. He had everybody in basically scared. He basically had to put them in the spirit that we ain't in no times when they was actually in those times.
That was Hananiah.
Yeah,
He was teaching of peace during the time of Jeremiah.
Yeah, you didn't get that.
Yeah, that's Jeremiah 28, and you can start at verse 7. Start at verse 7, and then read down to like 32.
And because if I may add, that's what all these other camps are doing. Outside of Great Millstone, they're pushing this peace. Don't worry about the tribulation. Whereas nothing but tribulations is in the news. Okay, down there in Trinidad, it's a full-fledged. They've been getting heavy rains for like 2 weeks straight, flooding. Okay, and that's just one pocket of destruction that's happening on planet Earth. But then you have the nerve of men, prophets. We're supposed to be prophets of doom.
You know, yeah.
All right, there's no such thing as a prophet of sweet potato pie and No, we're prophets of doom, man. Because the Most High is all about doom. All right, here it is. This is one of the worst times ever. But we ain't got to worry. But the Lord is at peace. What the fuck is you talking about? That don't even make no goddamn sense, man. I just want to say that, bro.
This is Ezekiel 2:10. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe.
Yeah, the scriptures is written about mourning, lamentations, and woe. And we at the end. This is the worst time of woe, man. World War I passed what 1914. World War II was worse than World War II. I mean than World War I. And then you got World War III coming up, man. That's gonna blow both of them out the water. Man, that might be maybe 3-4 billion casualties, man. The Lord gonna chop this place up. And what it said, the earth shall rock to and fro like a drunkard. You got high death rates with the animals. Majority of these animals is finna go extinct. That's how we know that the Most High is finna come down soon, and He gonna put judgment. The Most High through the Spirit, of course, through Yahweh Shah. All right, but it's mournings, it's woe, lamentation, depression, frustration. All these things is being pushed on this place on a high rate because we're at the end.
Yeah, that I forgot where that was, but that woman that abandoned her toddler at some random door. She dropped her child off at the door and just rung the doorbell.
The love of many shall wax cold.
Because see, people look at that like, oh, that woman's sick and twisted. No, she's feeling whatever is happening in her life. She's feeling the distress of it. She's feeling the anguish of this world. That's not the nature of a person that just straight up, oh, I don't give a fuck what door this is. I'm just gonna drop my baby off.
Yeah, if she was in a whole other condition, if her life was better, then she would have took care of her child.
Have more.
Hey, that's why look at the abortions. If somebody, if you don't have to do it, but when you look at the abortion clock, them numbers is jumping up to the heavens, man. Now, just like the brother said, that's not a person's natural spirit to actually just want to kill your baby. But the times that we living in, man, this is a survival thing, man. In the scriptures, it's prophecy, the love of many shall wax cold. Now, we know the black women and all these women are evil bitches. But the times that we living in is pushing a spirit of evil out here, man. All right, sin is at an all-time high. Food shortages is actually showing their face now. Gas is at an all-time high. You know, it's gonna continue to go up. It's hard as hell for certain people to live. Hard as hell for certain people to eat. They gotta work 2-3 jobs, which does what? It heightens their frustration, heightens their stress. They gotta eat less,
Eat worse.
eat worse.
To add to that point too, I was thinking this. I was like, man, it ain't gonna be no more. This got to be the last generation because it can't be no grandmothers that had or grandfathers that had a complete respected life. They can't be respected at their elderly age.
It ain't no more big mama.
Yeah, and they killing off their babies like the brother's been saying.
Yeah.
It's a wrap, man.
Yeah,
The scriptures tell you, Jeremiah 7th chapter, that the Lord said He's going to take the voice of mirth out of the streets in Jerusalem, man. He's going to take the voice of gladness and mirth, the voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride out of this place, man. All right, and like they were saying, when that war happens, man, all that kiki and hee and laughing and shit, that's gonna go out the window, man. When you wake up to the news one day that half of a country somewhere is just shot up the map, there's no more laughing.
People don't realize that until it happens in America. These Americans, they don't take the world events and then say, man, this is coming here. It only affects them when it hits their doorstep.
And see that, but that's where the voice of gladness is being taken from. The voice of gladness and mirth is right here in Babylon the Great. The voice of gladness is not in Egypt. It's not in Libya. It's not in Iraq. Venezuela. The voice of mirth is already removed.
Yeah. They already in a time.
Right, so the only place left to have that voice removed from is right here in America, man. This is the only place on the planet Earth that's just still laughing and getting fat, stuck on stupid, just ignorance is bliss, still thinking 50 years down the line. This is the only place. Niggas in Africa ain't thinking like that. All right? Them Elamites over there in East India, them East Indians ain't thinking that. These people getting their ass handed to them right now.
Yeah, the majority of the world is in poverty, man. and the Lord is going to hit this headquarters. This is the only reason why America is prospering and these other countries is suffering. Well, mainly America is not suffering like these other countries is because America stole so much from these other countries.
That's right.
And these countries are feeling the backlash, but America still, the upkeep seems so good. That's why I tell you, brother, you love the scripture, he always bring it out. Victual shall be so good cheap. Because you could go to Starbucks, you could buy you some Starbucks mocha cappuccino. You could go to your local restaurants, get you a bison burger. Go to Chick-fil-A, get you a chicken sandwich. You think that everything is good and it's going to be like this forever, man?
Get a $59 flight across the country.
Yep. Yeah. Certain airline deals, but nah, it's not gonna be like this. This country is gonna fall very, very soon. That's
It's Ezekiel 38:11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest.
And this is the land of unwalled villages, right? The Lord said He will go to the what? The rest. Yeah, read that over.
This is Ezekiel 38:11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest.
And I will go to them that are at rest. Rest is another form of peace. These people are in a peaceful mindset, man. Feet up. They're in the kick your feet up. That's why you look at us like we sideways. Like, what the hell you got talking shit? War, destruction, escalation. Like these things haven't hit the earth before.
Economic collapse.
Economic collapse. Do you not see my car?
Right.
Did you not see my house? Did you not see my? You want to look at my checking account?
Yeah, cuz. What about what happened in Greece not too long ago, a couple years back, right? With that whole issue in Cyprus, okay? You know, when you have the run-ons on the banks, that was basically an economic collapse, and they was calling on the EU to do all those bailouts, okay? And basically, you know, try to get that economy somewhat stable. What about what's going on in Venezuela? That's a total economic collapse, plus a famine, plus martial law, okay? That's not far-fetched, but these are the things like the brother is mentioning, it's prophesied in the scriptures. But these people out here are bugged out. They can't fathom something like that happening to America, okay?
The thing is
2008, you know, the crash in 1929, it's in the
they
school
teach in
textbooks.
schools.
You know, people just doped up off of social media and Cardi B
And dope.
and dope.
Big time, really.
Don't forget that. Literally,
The dope now is pharmaceutical companies. It's not the dope boy off the block, man. Esau took them guys off the market and gave you these opioids, man.
Yeah, it's a quote. I forget the name of the author, but it's in the New Totalitarian book. And I love the quote, and it roughly paraphrasing, it says they would under the means of dope and daydreaming, they can control the minds of the people, man. You know, through dope, because that's all this world is about.
And
And daydreaming, you go on your Instagram, your social media, and you see, yes, New Totalitarian, and if you put in dope and daydreaming, it should bring the quote. But that's all this world is about. You people, you get high on whether it's through the food, through little drugs, sodas, you know, just that lifestyle in itself. Then you go get on your computer, and then you just scrolling through your Instagram. That's creating a high on itself. Your timeline,
Yeah.
you know.
And what's, well, you want to say something?
No, you gotta bring
Yeah, and what's heavy about all that too is the more drugs you take, the more passive it makes you. It actually, it really extinguishes your different glands and things of that nature. You know, your body's made up of like adrenal glands and pituitary glands. You have certain drives, certain things that drive you, your testosterone hormones. When you take all those drugs, that shit really neutralizes you.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like when you see somebody truly doped up, they can hardly even fucking move, man.
Yeah.
They ain't got emotional stability to the point where they actually have their mind sane to actually look and see what's going on, because what? They're too addicted to whatever they're involved in, to the point where they can't even draw away from that addiction and put their head somewhere else.
And it's also pushed. It's also pushed in the music, man. Because they also tell you how to get the dope, how to chop it up, what area of the city or where the country is coming from, how to mix it, how to take it. So it's being promoted in these songs. It's basically promoting a bunch of degenerate assholes turned zombies, man. Bring that quote out. All right, this is a quote from the book New Totalitarian. Well, he quoted Aldous Huxley, if I'm saying his name correctly, from his book Brave New World. And this quote is as political and economic freedom diminishes, sexual freedom tends compensating to increase.
Sexual freedom compensating to increase. Because America, at first, homosexuality was classified as a mental illness. Yes, in the 40s and the 50s, which is still classified as a mental illness. But what do? They rearranged the whole narrative. They rearranged the principles, and now they make homosexuality a free liberation.
That's part of the social class.
Why? Because they're oppressing you more and more. So they want to give you more liberty to distract you. You see? But these individuals don't believe that shit. They don't look at things like that. They're just looking at the freedom of things, the freedom to what they can do. But it's all about what you can't do, because they're actually tightening restrictions, and they're giving you more leeway and license to sin. Just like during the time of Maccabees with Antiochus. When Antiochus Epiphanes came into power in First Maccabees, they broke the kings down. They put high taxation on them. They oppressed them heavier. They took the choice lands, and what did they do? They gave them leeway to sin.
That's right.
If you would do anything, sin, transgress the law.
And that's here.
That's it.
That's here. Literally, this is the land, like they say, this is the land of the free. This is the land that you can freely sin as much as you want to. All right. In this land here in America, it is. You can trip up in some sin.
Yeah. Okay.
Like literally, sin is everywhere. All right, but righteousness is literally nowhere to be found. It's scarce. Everywhere you go, like me and the brothers, we always joke about. You think about Papados, that restaurant Papados. Man, that restaurant is completely off. There's nothing on the menu that's kosher. Literally everything on the menu is off. And that's a norm. There's not a restaurant where there's a big fat sign on the top that says, "Hey, no pork and shellfish sold in here." They won't get no business. It'll get scoffed out of the city. Imagine if there was a city, if you open up a restaurant and you said, "Yeah, no unclean foods found in Leviticus found in here." What? Nah, hell nah. I want my shrimp right goddamn now.
They gonna protest.
They gonna protest that shit. What?
Good.
No shark?
No pork.
No pork?
Awesome.
You can't open no business without pork.
Oh, yeah.
Black business without pork.
Applewood, smoked bacon.
They gonna leave you straight.
And not only not sell it, but make it a point to say this is wicked. See, if you do that, then you shunning everybody. Or let you open up a restaurant and say you can't. Hey, no men can work here unless they have a beard on their face.
Yeah. Or homosexual can't work.
Right.
Let you open up a business and say, hey, no men with no beards, no beard, no hide. What? That's against my constitutional rights. Oh, but let me want to grow a beard. You can tell me to chop that shit off.
Yep.
This place is hypocritical, man.
Alright.
I'm gonna finish on this quote. It says, and the dictator, unless, and this is in parentheses, says, unless he needs cannon fodder, meaning an army or military, so unless he needs a military and families with which to colonize empty or conquered territories, will do well to encourage that freedom, that sexual freedom, he'll encourage it. Because he doesn't want you to populate. He'd rather you become a deviant, a sexual deviant, and decide to turn your lust towards another man. Or you a woman and you claim all men are dogs, so now you want to you cut off dick.
That's a form of eugenics and population control. Because the so-called white man is all about controlling the people through emptiness. Now, affection is at an all-time low. Back in the day, you know, what they call it, making love. There's no such thing as making love to these days.
No, fuck it.
Hey, back in the day, you would actually have sex with a woman, and she would cleave to your ass like a baby koala bear cleaves to the mama.
She want to get to your marsupial pal.
Good.
These bitches kick you out.
Yeah, they'll kick your ass out after the day. But that's the
Call
time.
your ass an Uber.
Yeah, call you an Uber. Hey, this place is so off. This place is so off today to the point where women are the new niggas, and niggas are the new women. Yeah. You listen to the music. Women is all about talking about how many niggas they fuck and how many rods they blow, how good they blow rod, and how many niggas they get to pay their bills. And then you'll listen to these R&B niggas. They all about bowing down and kissing all kind of
They
ass.
all about paying the bills. They
That's-
all about them.
They all about what can I do for you, baby? I ain't doing enough. I done paid for your house. I done paid for your cars. I done paid for your Labattles and your red bottoms, but it's still not enough.
Put that
what
woman
else can I
first.
do? If I can give you my soul, but that's the times that we living in.
Go to the new thing, and a woman shall compass a
Oh,
man.
okay, Isaiah. Oh, you can bring it up.
It's
That's
Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
Yeah, Psalm 52:5.
For shall
Yeah, it says, surely you're turning of things upside down. That's this kingdom, man. Everything is ass backwards. And they had this quote. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can find this quote. Matter of fact, boom.
So Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
Right, because see the so-called white man, he's turned everything from his natural order. He flipped it on his head.
Yes.
Okay? That's what we were just talking about. Like the brother mentioned, a woman shall surpass a man. Okay? All these niggas, they want to do is they want to service the woman. Okay? Instead of the other way around.
Goddamn woman. These women out here, they got traveling jobs. Then it's your woman, she traveling to Chicago, staying in hotels. Because them jobs back in the day, that's what men would have in jobs. Like, yeah, baby, I gotta go, a business trip. And the man would go to Chicago or LA or Atlanta or New York. You know, he might go off and freak off.
it says that in the scriptures too.
You know what I'm saying?
Husband
That's
be
his
on a
business.
business
He's a
trip.
man. Hey, if I'm on a business trip as a man and I want to go and I want to deal with a harlot or I meet some single woman and I want to pop her, hey, I can do that as a man.
That's right.
But then the flip side come now in this day and age, these fucking men are house husbands. They had the house with the apron on and vacuuming all goddamn day.
And making desserts and sweets.
They're making scones and the woman.
Confectionaries and shit.
Yeah, and the woman, she's the one with the luggage and suitcase through the airport and shit.
And hey, you know, if you watch, you know, television, man, you see these commercials. You see these commercials with these white men, these husbands, you know, and they're taking care of the laundry. You know, if there's one commercial I saw, I guess it was like a laundry detergent Tide commercial or something. And his daughter is running around in like superhero costume.
Yep.
And he's one with the mom apron doing the laundry.
Yep.
You know, making sure that every time she spills something on a little dress, he goes and
the
cleans
fabric
it up.
softener on it.
Right. And then meanwhile, I'm in the commercial. I'm like, where the hell is the mom?
There's another one too. There's another one. You see the one with the guy with the Alexa commercial, the little Google Home Alexa shit, and he has the newborn baby, and the Alexa talks to him. The woman leaves a memo. Hey, honey, Alexa wanted me to remind you, you're doing great. Alexa has a play date. At 3 p.m. Alexa, you have the dinner. Oh, and then Alexa at the end of it is like, you're doing great, honey. And he got the fucking baby on his shoulder. The mother's nowhere to be seen.
Where's the mom?
Finally getting
That's
finally
the
getting
new thing
tossed
in the
up.
earth that the Lord created.
Ah,
That's why Esau want to put milk in men's titties. And I mean, not to be vulgar.
That's in the next step.
That's his next state. He's completely skyrocketing the woman into the man's position where he's literally, this guy's so twisted, he's going to put testicles in the women to impregnate you effeminate beta-ass men. So you can keep your ass home to breastfeed the fucking child. But you guys want to stay in America.
That's what it's about.
that shit is
That's
crazy.
why, like,
man. That's
Brother
filthy.
Red, okay, surely the turning things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Because the Lord gonna have to do something about this man.
Lord,
He's gonna have
must
to flip everything. He must.
He gonna break everything apart.
You know?
Lord gotta actually break this place apart, man, because everything has been rearranged. Read that part over.
All right, it's Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
And who turned everything upside down? The so-called white man. Like you said, the men are women now, the women are men. The black woman wants to be a white woman. The white woman wants to be the black woman. The child actually takes authority as a grown person. The grown person taking orders from a child.
Yep.
Everything is fucking backwards, man. Slave masters. Slaves are actually slave masters. We supposed to be the slave masters. We slaves. Here it is. We the royalist people of our nation. All right, the men, the prophets, the men, the scribes, the prudent men. We're supposed to be at the top of the nation. We at the bottom. The lowest class of our people, the most wickedest, evilest niggas, they at the top. Drug dealers.
Future.
Those individuals didn't even have no part in our kingdom, man. The scripture spoke about suffering not a wish to live. Meaning drug dealers, man. Whenever you was a street hustler, you was pushing narcotics, or you was because they pushed that shit back then, man. Whenever you push that dope, so the people, what did they do? They killed off the witches and the male equivalent to a witch is a warlock, and they banished them out of the land. No more drugs. If you get caught with that shit, your ass getting killed on the spot. It don't matter if it's a Nick set, man. But I have a point to bring out with going with a precept. Surely the turning of things upside down, and this is a quote going into it too. It says, "Just look at us. Everything is backwards. Everything is upside down. Doctors destroy health. Lawyers destroy justice. Psychiatrists destroy minds."
And because these psychiatrists is another level of witchcraft. When you go into psychosis and you go into these Sigmund Freud's and these different individuals, see, they teach you their beliefs and their theories in a PG version to you. So you read it, you're like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. But then you get older, you go into it deeper. Man, you guys are a bunch of sickos, man.
Yeah. Hey, when you watch the movie Get Out, that one lady that was putting all that witchcraft on that individual, she was a psychiatrist. You know, she knew the back and forth bail thing. That's a lot of these psychiatrists. That's why they always got you in that damn couch, man. These shrinks. Yeah, these shrink. Oh, when you go back to the origins of shrinks, those go back to head shrinkers, man. Over there in those Beetlejuice. Yeah, like Beetlejuice. They call them shrinks. They actually call the individual shrinks, and when you go into the etymology of those shrinks, they go back to the heathenistic head shrinkers, man. Because that's really what they're doing to your spirit.
The ancient shamans.
Yeah, the shamans, individuals that actually taking your spirit and manipulating it.
Like
that's
Jaffa
why
used to do that stuff, and now you got the tribes. They do it too down there in the Amazon. They be doing that crazy crap too, man. You know?
Yeah, Esau do it through the music too as well.
Right, and Esau do it. He does it in the more.
Yeah, Esau do it with he decalcifies your pineal gland.
Yeah.
You know, he feeds you all kind of metals. He puts chemicals, estrogen, enhancing drugs in your food.
Everything got soil.
everything we drink out of is plastic now.
Plastic, parabens, metals, all types of shit, man. That's why you don't even, as a man, that's why you don't even have the energy to get up. Because your energy to get up is found in your testosterone. Yep. This man, he attacks that. That's why it ain't necessarily all the time you got a lazy demon on you. It's because of this fucking world we in.
You got low T level.
You got low T level.
High level of sleepiness is linked to low T level.
Lethargicness,
Fatigue.
And then we got very small sperm count. Which that institutes your reproduction, meaning your reproductive hormones is being attacked.
Hey, you ever heard the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it? That's a true statement.
Yeah.
If you literally lose your rod if you don't use it.
Hey, you know one of the highest forms of witchcraft Esau put out here is pornographic films too, man.
Right.
Here it is, you looking at somebody else having sex. Why the hell you don't have access to it?
Why don't you have that blonde hair that you want?
Yeah.
Or that brunette? Or that Chinese woman?
Because they saw the goddamn.
It's a D.
And they say with pornography, it has a lot of psychological effects to your mind, where a lot of people they'll be so involved with media sex to the point where they're actually up with the real deal and they can't even get it up. Because what you've been so desensitized off of the computer,
That's
off of the internet.
It's like,
But that's this devil's witchcraft, man. He restricts, and then he'll restrict all these women from actually getting with you, and then they'll create a whole sexual platform where everybody can just have sex. But you're actually trying to get with a woman in the regular world, so to speak.
Not happening.
It's not happening. or you gotta wrap up. Because if you pop it without a condom, your ass gets 7 diseases.
Yep.
You get 7 diseases from one fucking chick, man.
Or you got that red X on you like Black Mirror. The dude couldn't be in society, so to speak, as normal and shit.
Yeah, you got the block button on.
You know who made most of his riches? Well, what's his name? Fucking Murdoch or whatever. The owner of Fox Network. What's his name again? Rupert Murdoch. I'm saying it correctly. He made a lot of his riches in pornography, and then he transferred it over into what you have now is what? The Fox station. And we all know what Fox, if you have any understanding, that Fox literally means 666.
Hey, the image of a fox is a circle, it's basically snake.
How's it going to early 2000?
A fox is known through their cunning, sly nature. And that's this devil, man. This devil is a goddamn fox. But I'm gonna continue on with this quote. Psychiatrists, destroy minds. Scientists destroy truth. Major media
Yeah, look at what's this wheelchair mush face retarded this guy?
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Yeah, he's a scientist. And his whole MO was what? God does not exist.
Yeah, theories of evolution.
Theories of evolution, and God does not exist, and God is and God is real, and that's the truth. Scriptures say, "Let the Most High be true, and let every man be a liar."
Science, false, so-called. But now, really, the word science means knowledge, the act of knowing. But knowledge now is deception. It's all built upon lies and it's all fabricated. Like scientists always go to prehistoric history. You could go to a lot of these museums and they'll have skeletons of T-Rexes.
80 billion year old dinosaur.
Yeah, 80 billion year old Mesosaurus or what's the saber-toothed tiger. All those is false replicas, man. Right. Or they'll say that Africa is the motherland because they found Lucy's bones actually in Africa, and the bones predate, it goes all the way back to so and so million years ago. All that shit bullshit, man.
You know what they say about Lucy? They said those were just monkey bones and human bones just thrown together.
Because Esau's a goddamn liar. He's a liar. But you people, you drink up Esau's drool as you this devil as God. Hey, but the jig is up, Esau. All right? You've been exposed. You've been exposed for the fucking liar that you are, for the wicked man that you are, the evil man that you are. And you ain't fooling us, man. You don't scare us no more.
Yeah, we seen the boogeyman.
Yeah, we
like,
seen the boogeyman.
Like you see, watch
the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz. This old skeleton, decrepit devil that's behind the scenes manipulating everything. And you watch that also in the movie The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
All that fucking computer simulation, the waves and all, because we really living in a big ass computer simulation. The Most High just put our spirits in vessels and made us go through this whole fucking play, man. But through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, we understand what we're fighting against. That's why it says we not ignorant of Satan's devices. All these little schemes and plots, snares and traps that this devil got, man. The minute Yahweh Shema Shah, we see through all that bullshit.
Guess what? Esau, you're a part of this simulation. This place, this tells that the Lord is the author. He's the author of the play. He's the true power, the theos. And this is his theater. You're just another actor. You're just the bad guy.
Yeah, you're just the bad guy.
You're just
the
the
antagonist.
The antagonist.
The antagonist.
The adversary.
Let me just finish the last one, and I'm gonna throw that back to you. It says, scientists destroy truth, major media destroys information, and that's been brought out. You have Operation, which one? Not Paperclip. CIA operation where they actually put the media, and they actually changed up all the media narrative. They bought out the New York Times, all these different media outlets through the CIA.
Well, Cuba Missile.
I think
Rockefeller's over there. I forget what it's called.
either it's Operation Paperclip or it's
Paperclip, that was for.
it ain't Operation Paperclip. It's one of the operations that the CIA
Mockingbird.
Type in Operation Mockingbird. We'll go into that real fast. Just want to read the beginning part of, because through Operation Mockingbird, that's when they actually created all these different different journal constitutions, and through those different journals, that's where they push out all these different lies, disinformation. That's why you'll watch CNN It'll be some big shit going on all throughout the Middle East, but you'll watch CNN and they talking about straight up bullshit.
Yeah, that's why when you think of conglomerates, a conglomerate is basically when one big company owns a bunch of little companies, right? And the best way to understand that is through the media conglomerate. Because see, for instance, let's just take the state of Georgia. Let's just deal with Georgia media on a small scale, right? You have, like, what is the main newspaper here? You have the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the AJC. But then you go to Augusta. Augusta has its own newspaper. Macon has its own newspaper. Savannah has its own newspaper. And so on and so forth. Even these little towns in between, like the Covingtons. But Covington doesn't have its own printing press. So all that news comes from
The outlet.
it comes from one outlet, and mainly it's going to come from the biggest one, which is going to be like the AJC. The AJC will own the Augusta Chronicles and whatever the Columbia newspaper is, or the Columbus or the Macon, and then they print them out and they ship them out. So when you got all your news coming from one printing press, that's complete control.
Right. Well, speaking of Georgia, you got TBS, you got TNT, you got PBS. All that is owned by
Cartoon Network.
Yeah, Cartoon Network. That's all owned by Ted Turner, which he also owns CNN. It's all one big conglomerate. All the news, whether it be television, like the brother said, whether it be print.
Yeah, you
Okay,
got
it's
the
all
Cartoon
run by
Network.
it's all run by company.
Yeah, because we was at the CNN. You were going to CNN, they had the Cartoon Network in there. But like you said, it's all owned by bigger deals. The biggest of all of them, of course, Esau, the elites. And they set up these front men to actually, whether they're over the media or whatever, they're over the economic market, they'll be over those different things, and they do what? Push out and pump out a high level of witchcraft.
That's right.
And this is just a quick point.
It says Operation Mockingbird was an alleged large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency that began in the early 50s and attempted to manipulate news media for propaganda purposes.
Right, which is what's called yellow journalism. That's what you see being done today. When you got guys like Anderson Cooper and Don Lemon, you know, they do these certain reports about things going on overseas, and the reports they give back, it's either an exaggeration or it's false. And they do something called yellow journalism, where basically they embellish the truth.
Yeah. CNN got caught in the early 90s, CNN building right downtown. They were supposed to be in, they were acting like a Black Hawk was getting shot down. Over there in the Middle East, they were acting like, they were acting as if it was going down in war. And lo and behold, you can actually see, you can go on YouTube and find the clip, and you can actually see the green screen on the side of the screen. So they're acting as if they're in the middle of the Gulf War. It's, you know, it's shots fired, and you hear this, and it's a fucking green screen. They in the building downtown, acting like they reporting live from the Gulf Coast, or not the Gulf Coast, Desert Storm, or whatever. And they downtown in the building, and you can see the green screen where they using they just got a picture in the background. These motherfuckers don't even, you be thinking they somewhere they ain't there. Yeah. You be thinking that Don, sometimes, hey, further on, you be thinking that's Don Lennon or one of them characters. That's could be a fucking robot.
Hell yeah.
It's a synthenoid person.
Got them holograms. Got a little bit more. I'm gonna let it bring that piece up out. It says it funded student and cultural organizations and magazines as front organizations. And those front organizations are bigger than the alternative media. That's why they just really banned Alex Jones out of basically the whole media. Yeah. They shitted on Alex Jones. Why? Because he's alternative media. They blacklisted, blackballed. Threw his ass out. Like, the information you pushing out, because what? He speaks a lot of truth. Right. He speaks a lot. He goes into a lot of things about the government, you know, exposing the government through different CIA operations, certain wars, certain things where America will blame terrorists when they're the true terrorists actually going in the land invading. So the so-called white man is being exposed globally, man. And they'll push it really around in circulation in America to fool what? The masses. Because it's like the so-called white man doesn't care about you being deceived. He has the largest military. He owns the what's the trio, the economics, the religion, and the military. Yeah. Which through the religion, that's the spirituality, and that's really a form of witchcraft too. And quick point, I'm just gonna finish this last little bit.
because it's going to go into religion too. Media destroys information, religions destroy spirituality, and governments destroy freedom. Right, because the governments, they're designed to rule over your mind, and instead of liberating you and building you, they're designed to constrict you and put you further in a hole. Oppress you. That's all by the hand of the so-called white man, the devil, man. Through his many facets and ways of manipulation, this devil is like a fucking octopus, man. Going back to the conglomerate, because them conglomerates, they're over media, and when you go through the media, it's bigger than just, you know, journals, so to speak. You got BET, you got the sports, you got all these different things that actually the so-called white man controls to actually manipulate how you move it and actually maneuver.
And that's why everybody up in the uproar of being a patriot ever since the 9/11 crash. And then on top of that too, the main media is a puppet for the elite. They all meet up at Bohemian Grove.
Like,
Just ran by these universities.
yeah, like I was gonna say, like Disney. That's another conglomerate. Disney owns ABC, ESPN. Okay, those it don't get much bigger than that.
Yeah, another one is what's called the Big Five. You got Disney, you got Viacom. Viacom basically owns all your networks like BET, MTV, VH1. That's why they all got what, reality shows.
It's all the same
It's all the same program. It's all the same thing. Okay.
I remember one time back in the day, you know, when you start learning shit like that, like, you know, Viacom owned it.
Oh, they own Nickelodeon.
Yeah, they owned, I was going to remember I was watching MTV. And you were college here, that show back in the day. That was a BET reality show. And I'm like, what the fuck is this on MTV2? Why is it on MTV2? Because MTV and BET is owned by the same thing. So they can put the same shit on whatever, they can put whatever they want on the channel.
Yeah. Just throwing shit anywhere. You got that Job.
Yeah, this is Job 13:4. You are forgers of lies.
That's right.
Right. What does it mean when you forge? You create it and you'll write it or plagiarize it falsely. Whenever you forge somebody's signature, you're actually writing something down that's actually not authorized by that individual. Or it may be authorized, but it's actually not the correct, or it's not the right signature. So this devil is incorrect on all levels. It said he's a forger of lies. He creates lies after lies, deception after deception, through the, like I said, through the media, through the science, through the religion,
It's money.
through the currency, through the economics. That's why we say this is a fucking hellhole, man. This is hell. It don't get no lower than this. This is the pit, the system, and that's what the system consists of. It consists of all the economics, which the economy, of course, is the market of things, the cars that you buy, the houses that you desire to get. But you never could get anything. That's why you pay for something known as a mortgage, which is a death pledge or a death note.
It's an extended lease.
It's an extended lease or retirement. Everybody's, I'm gonna retire at 65, 70. Your life is over at 65. What the fuck?
What you gonna do?
Your ride don't even work. Your ride is your life. That is your life. That's the life of man. What the hell can you do at 60? I don't give a fuck if you got $100 million at 65. What the hell you gonna do with it?
You gotta take all kind of industrialized pills to get your ride up. That ain't living, man.
Viagra.
Your woman, you beat up. Your children hate you. Your woman is defeated you.
Especially these Edomites out here. These Edomites was cool,
On all levels.
I got a real quick scripture. This is Nahum 3:1, and it reads, "Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery.
Yep.
The prey departed not."
And that's America, man. It's filled up with bloodshed and robbery, lies. Going back to the trickery and the cunningness of the serpent. When the serpent actually went to Eve and had the dialogue with Eve, he was filled up with fucking tricks and schemes, man. That's why he deceived the woman, and broke down the immortal world. You know how hard it is to break down immortality when it was already set? But this devil did.
Imperfection.
It was already designed to be perfect. It took the angels 7,000 years, or 6,000 years, and then the 7th day of rest. And this devil, through a couple cunning words, destroyed the whole universe, man. By the hand of Eve, man.
That's all he had.
6,000 years of meticulousness. We're gonna put the birds, the fishes, the earth, the fowls. Now after everything was laid out, then they planted man. Said you don't even gotta work. You ain't even gotta till the earth. It didn't even rain at that time.
Rain.
It was no need to rain.
Yo, you get that Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, through envy of the devil.
They gotta get that Yohana spirit.
Damn, Esau is fucking.
Ain't no white man. This white man is the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right.
But he said, I ain't seen no, he said, there ain't no other man on this planet.
This white man is the devil.
He said the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
Devil in the Bible.
Hey, he's right.
He's right.
He's right. Hey, he's right. I ain't gonna go against it because we don't like him, but that's true. This white man is the devil, man.
Yeah, he is the devil, man.
This white man literally said all the works that the angels, the Alahayim did in that 6,000 year period, it wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Wasn't good enough.
It wasn't good enough.
And they had the blueprint.
They had the blueprint.
Straight from another dimension.
From the Most High. That's crazy. This devil, man.
That's why you have to be. That's why you have to be erased. You can't be a remnant left around no more. Anybody that says that this devil gonna be around after he served slavery, yeah, you're not in the spirit, man.
Bring him hither so we may slay.
This devil has to be erased. He is everything. This devil has blood on his hands that goes back to the very beginning. His dirt goes back to Genesis, the 2nd and 3rd chapter.
Damn, yeah, he sure do. Yeah. Subtile amongst all the beasts.
God damn, like his dirt go back that far.
Since the beginning of time.
He's a fugitive now, man.
And the Lord is tying up all the loose ends, man. He tied up because Yahweh Shai had to redeem his sins from that time period. So the so-called white man, you got to redeem, you got to, atone for your sins.
Whatever spirit is Esau, the Esau, God damn. The Esau
He
is
gotta
gonna
be
get his ass whooped in the kingdom.
You gotta be one of the elites, man.
Beat the king.
Hey, I'm pretty sure one of them elites know that they go back to Edom, man. Possibly.
Yeah.
Oh no, they know.
Yeah, they know.
go back.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I'm
Like,
actually
literally.
Esau in reincarnation.
Oh,
This
saying
is
that they know.
Oh, yeah.
The Esau.
Because he gotta be one of the elites, one of the Rothschilds.
He gotta be living it up. Esau, wherever you at, Esau, you better be living it up.
You got that?
Yeah, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2.
Is this
Yeah,
legit?
Give me a question.
What is this?
Well, we're Hebrew Israelites and we're teaching the Bible. According to our nationality, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites of in the scriptures. You ever read certain scriptures and heard of the Israelites?
Yes.
God's chosen people?
I don't know if that's true, but yeah, I heard of that.
Well, it is true according to the Bible. Get what's that? Isaiah 44:1.
So what denomination are you?
It's not a denomination; it's a nationality. Like we said, it's Israelites.
Oh.
Israel came from what? Jacob is another name that was changed to Israel, and Israel's father was Isaac and Abraham, and they had the 12 tribes, which the 12 tribes had the nation of Israel. That was the chosen seed when you read the scriptures, and that's the chosen seed unto this day, which they lost their nationality, and that's what we're out here to actually tell our people who they truly are according to the Bible.
So it's not a religion thing.
It's not a religion. God didn't come with religion. What religion is in the scriptures?
Okay.
Got that?
I'm going to read this for you. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 1. It says, Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant.
See, Jacob, my servant. Jacob is another name for Israel. So we're out here to teach to the Israelites, like I said, which are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. See?
And Israel, whom I have chosen.
And Israel, whom I have chosen. Like you said, you didn't believe that or know that, but according to the Bible, it says that Israel is the ones that the Lord actually chose. Even though you have actually people that came out of all nations, you have white people, you have Chinese, Japanese, you have East Indians. Like, what's your nationality?
Make a guess.
Huh?
Make a guess.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, make a guess. I'm trying to make it more interesting. I'm not. Well, I was everyone that honestly when
What would you
asked
think
me.
he was about to do?
That's all.
Spanish.
Very
Yeah, I was thinking Middle East.
Middle East,
East
Middle
Indian.
East,
East
Middle
Indian.
East, Middle East, yeah.
East Indian?
But we Middle East.
Middle,
It is East Indian in a
But
way.
I'm saying where? in
Well,
particular? Yeah.
in particular? Arab country, yeah?
Oh, but see, if you actually go back to antiquity, the Arabs, according to the Bible, are the Ishmaelites. I'm pretty sure you're familiar
I know
with
that, yeah, that's what
Yeah, see?
we say, yeah.
So, but according to the Bible, Ishmael wasn't chosen by the Heavenly Father. It says,
So it's a religion then.
huh? No.
Okay.
Ishmael was a son of Abraham. That doesn't have anything to do with religion. I didn't say anything about Islam,
I don't know.
Christianity.
You can say it.
Let's
okay.
throw religion in the trash can. We're not dealing with religion. We're dealing with
Oh,
nationality.
you put it in that trash.
I'm putting it in the trash can.
I'm not
'Cause
putting it
You're
anywhere.
saying a lot about religion, but we're not dealing with
Okay.
God. Where's religion in the Bible?
I don't know.
Where's Christianity? But we're dealing with the Bible. So we're dealing with nationality, we're dealing with ethnicity, and we're dealing with the chosen line of the Heavenly Father. And like I said, with Ishmael, which are the Arabs today, they weren't chosen by the Heavenly Father. It said in the scriptures, unto Isaac shall thy seed be called. And Isaac had the 12 tribes. I had Jacob, which had the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
Thank you so much for your time. Oh, the cell to it?
And we're not saying that through face value, because in the Middle East, you had our people that actually lived all throughout the Arabs' land. They lived in India, which the East Indians in the Bible are known as Elamites. They lived all throughout Africa. So it's confusion of faces all throughout, and it's a possibility. It's a short, small possibility, but it is a possibility that you could possibly be an Israelite. But that's why, we're dealing with nationality and the spirit of things. Because at the end of the day, this isn't a black thing. Even though we're dark skinned, this doesn't have anything to do with black people. You have certain individuals that's light skinned. You have certain people that look like straight so-called white people that go back to the nation of Israel. They stand back to the Israelites. You got some more?
Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 54. It says, and after these, Adam also, who now made us Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
Right, so everybody comes from Adam, right? According to the Bible. You believe in the Bible?
To some extent.
What extent do you not believe?
The one you and I can agree on. For the
Well,
matter
what-
of this.
Huh? Okay, well, according to the Bible, it says that we all stem from Adam, right? But everybody in the churches, all throughout the religious world, they'll all say, well, we're all God's chosen people. Everybody comes from Adam. God loved them. But that's not the same blood. We all got the same blood. But that's not true according to the Bible.
One last question, because we gotta
Well,
go.
we're going to finish this and then I'm going to let you answer.
How long is that?
It says, of him come we all, and
Of him come we all, out of the Adamites, or Adam, we all come, continue.
and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
And the people whom thou also hast chosen. Who did the Lord choose?
You tell me.
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
According to what I just read you prior to the scripture, who did the Lord choose? From the dialogue or the conversation we just had,
Isaac.
who did we establish that the Lord chose?
You said Isaac?
Isaac was called, yeah, like I said,
He was the
Isaac
grandfather.
was called, but he was the grandfather of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, which, like I said, when you link it up, according to Bible prophecy, it's the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those are the chosen children of the Heavenly Father. Because the Lord has chosen, and if you have chosen, you have to have unchosen, right? Balance. It's balance.
One last question. What does the lion has to do with all this?
Hmm?
What does the lion has to do with all this?
What does the lion have to do with all this? Get at Genesis 49.
Mine is just a
Lion is a symbol.
I'm pretty sure you went to college and your college has
Simple?
you have a mascot, right? You go to Georgia Tech and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, Georgia State Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you read the Bible, the lion is a very, very important figure or image. Like it speaks about the Lord, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. He's likened unto a lion. A lion from what? The tribe of Judah. And when you read about the tribe of Judah, which we're going to read, they're likened unto a lion. So that's the symbol of the whole nation on the whole. Because when you go into the Bible, Judah, which comes out of the 12 tribes of Israel, that was the top nation or the top tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. So this is like the top symbol, so to speak. And when you think about the lion is what? King of the jungle. That's the top animal. So the Lord, it's very heavy that the Heavenly Father is spiritual. It's a spiritual animal, and it's spiritual that's in the scriptures.
I got something real quick. Yeah, it's Isaiah 5:29. Their roaring shall be like a lion.
It says their roaring shall be like a lion. And that represents what? Us. Why? Because we're on the highways and byways, or we're on the streets teaching this word in boldness. When you look at a lion in the jungle, isn't a lion very, very bold and aggressive? He's known as what? The king of the jungle. He's known through his roar. Same thing with the men that the Lord chose. When we out here teaching the Bible, we teaching in boldness just like a lion. That's why the Lord actually gave us that image of a lion. And when you even deal with all people on the planet Earth, who's the most dominant people? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Look at LeBron James' symbol.
Look at
His symbol is a lion.
Yeah. He can be a goat.
He's not
Or a donkey. The donkey LeBron, or the duck. And when you deal with blacks, aren't blacks the most feared people amongst all people?
Not where I come from.
Huh?
Not where I come from.
But when we dealing with this area, every time, say for instance, a so-called black person moves in the neighborhood, what do they say? Outgoes the neighborhood, as the saying goes. Because what? Because we have a certain image and we have a certain persona about ourselves that certain people fear. That's irrefutable. On your job, a lot of people try to stay away from us because of our stature, because of our dominance. We're known to have high testosterone, pop all kind of women. That's the nature of our people. But you can continue on.
Well, I don't want to cut you short.
Isaiah,
Real fast, hold on.
this is Isaiah 5 and 29. It says, their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions.
They shall roar like young lions, right? And each and every one of us are in our youth. And when you understand lions in their youth, they're known to be very, very strong and aggressive. So we represent that. Strong and aggressive men out here in the face of adversity. You got that, Genesis?
Yea, they shall roar and lay hold of the prey.
Right, and that's why we teach out in these scriptures loud, because it's likened unto roaring. The scripture says to cry aloud and spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. That's why we're out here speaking very, very loudly, like you hear the brothers down there. They're speaking so boldly that people can hear from the next block over. Just like a lion roar. When a lion roars, you can hear miles down. Got some more?
And lay hold of the prey.
And lay hold of the prey. And the prey is the so-called white man, which is the enemy according to the Bible. Because he preyed on us and he destroyed us as a nation. And it's going to be justice when whom the world called Jesus Christ comes back.
Because he's a lion.
Yeah, the white man is a lion.
Yeah, the scriptures say that. The scriptures say, break, oh Lord,
So,
break
it's a lion?
his teeth.
He's known as a lion in the scriptures too. When you 1 Peter 5 and 8. You get that real fast.
First Peter 5 and 8.
I have to head out.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, have a good one. I get First Peter 5 and 8. Be sober, be diligent. Be diligent. It's like,
Yeah, tongue.
yeah. Because your adversary, the devil, a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right. So the so-called white man is known as a lion also. Why? Because he's a predator. He's an apex predator that preys on the small, the feeble, the weak, the poor.
Scar.
He's scarred, the widow.
You know what I'm saying? He's smart.
And back in the day when a woman would lose her husband, you know, she would actually be taken care of by the spiritual or the economic government that we would have back in Israel. At today's time, they don't do that shit, man. You lose your husband, hey, oh well.
Tough titty,
You're gonna have to pay for the casket. You're gonna have to pay for the whole funeral service.
All his debts.
The pastor, the plot of land, the tombstone, all that shit. You know? And then you might be too old to work. Hey, to hell with it. They'll give you throw you a couple little chump change just to make it to the next day.
Your job gonna throw you that bullshit, that potluck. Bring some green beans and casserole.
And potato
Not casserole,
salad.
what's the dish? Casserole.
Casserole.
Bring a goddamn green bean casserole to you.
I don't like it.
That's what they gonna do. And lo and behold, because you done lost the breadwinner in your household, now you gotta go live with your son. And his family.
And you can look and get a day off. Because of the so-called white man. You know? It don't matter if you're poor, you get oppressed more. It's been shown without a shadow of a doubt that the poor people get taxed more than the super rich, man. Accumulated, individually we get taxed more. And they'll try to come with this energy. Well, the super rich, we're the ones that's pushing out the jobs in the economy.
That's why
So
they
we
give
have
tax cuts.
so we have higher tax cuts and this. Man, fuck all that, man. First off, the poor are being broken down, and when you read the scriptures, you would actually have land tax that the poor would actually receive, man.
Yep.
Certain subsidies that the poor can actually eat off of to make it to the next day.
Yeah, it's in our law, but this fucking devil. I seen a video in Panama. city, Florida, where basically you had the health department come down there and shut down people giving free food out to the people. To the people that were devastated by Hurricane Michael, they shutting down people, giving them free food. That's under your, I believe, whatever the storm happened is recent.
About 2 weeks ago.
But that's under the rule. That's under the rulership of you goddamn devils, man.
Yeah.
But in the Bible, under all laws, if you have a tree, like let's just say these trees that are behind us, are it's an apple tree, right? And if whatever apples fall from the tree down to the ground, you're not supposed to be able to pick those apples up. You're supposed to leave those apples that hit the ground. Whatever hits the ground, you're supposed to leave it there for the poor. You're supposed to leave it there. You're not supposed to strip the tree of every goddamn apple. That's what Esau you do, so you can make a profit off of every bit of it.
Yep, every bit.
Every bit of it. But we're not even that greedy of a people. Hey, you come through my crop field and you hungry and it's a corn on the ground. By law, I have to allow you to eat.
That's in the book of Ruth. And, that they were sharing, and then whatever was left, they ate.
So even when, like the brother
that's
said, a righteous welfare. So even when you was poor in the ancient world in Jerusalem, you were basically somewhat rich because we are all a true economy. We're a real house. At the end of the day, you might have less than the average individual, but the poor back then, they were taken care of to a certain degree, man.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you were poor in the ancient world, you could literally go turn yourself into a Hebrew servant to somebody that was rich and become rich. So there was always a system to set up where there's no reason for you to be for lack of a better term, a bum in Israel, really. You know, because you could set aside like Apostle Paul was going into. He said, man, by the time you hit 12, you become a man, you link up with your father or your uncle, pick up a skill. Because in this world, see, that's how you know this devil is against you. Because in this world, he'll make it where here it is, your father, let's just say your grandfather. Your grandfather was a construction worker, or he worked on houses. He's a carpenter. But then the father, being rebellious, I want to go be a lawyer.
Yeah.
So you didn't destroy the generational wealth builder, so to speak. That's where wealth gets built, generational. Grandfather sets. That's what these devils do. These so-called white people do it. You have some well-known to-do family, and what did the grandfather? He established a construction company after the Great Depression.
Oh, well, look at the elites.
Yeah, the elite.
They started the banking market. In
Maya Hampshire.
Yeah, Maya Hampshire. He said it through Moses, and Moses had Jacob, and
Sent the 4 sons out.
the 4 sons. They took over those 5 cities, and they ruled the world. Job 9:24 fully came to pass through them. You know?
But if one of them decide, I'm sorry, Father, I know that the family business
I want to be an actor.
is banking, but I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a dancer.
I want to go be a dancer, right? Yeah.
Like, man, you finna flip this money, and you finna be a goddamn loan shark. That's what you want.
And you know what? They some gangsters. They probably one of the faggot sons probably did say that. He grabbed by the neck. Listen here, little nigga. I done put all this energy into this. I kill you and bring another son.
I kill you dead. Yeah. Talking like a goddamn slave, man. Hey, but see but that's how it's gonna be in the that's how it was in the ancient world. You know, with Yahushua father was a carpenter. Joseph was a carpenter. Yahushua was a carpenter. All right. If Yahushua had sons, what they gonna be? Carpenters. So it's the same thing. The so-called white man with his rearrangement and really the mentality of choice. He really fucked up the minds of each and every one of the individuals. Because when you start these skills now, it takes forever to get these different skills, man. It stretches you thin to even attain them. You gotta go through school. You gotta go
internships and
apprenticeships. Debt. You gotta get thousands of dollars in debt in order to get these skills. But when you look at like back in the day, like midwives, if a midwife would have a daughter, say that she's 12, 13 years old, the midwife is actually showing the daughter the whole way of dealing with the body, you know what I'm saying, delivering a child. So when the child turns 15, 16, they don't even gotta know all these minuscule points about all these weird terminology. She could be deaf. She probably don't even have to hear, but she knows how to deliver a a baby like an expert. Why? Because of her mother constantly training and constantly showing that
child up in his youth that he shall not depart.
yeah, and even when you look at on the internet, if you try to type in like being a doctor or dental skills, they don't actually show you how to extract teeth on the internet. They don't show you certain skills like that on the internet like that. Why? They blank all those things out and they cut it out. They make you actually have to learn it through the educational system so that they can put you in debt and spike up the interest, man, and make you poor, man.
Yeah, like for example, like with the bunch of things about the midwives, the younger women, right in the ancient world, okay, it was pretty much, self-explanatory. Like, you may got some water, you sat on one of them stools. There was a stool that they designed that was actually had like it was shaped like a U or like a horseshoe. And they would spread their legs out, and therefore, with the opening in the chair, they'd be able to push. But now today, a so-called young woman, she wants to be a gynecologist or
OBGYN.
yeah, that's right. But anyway, they didn't have to see now, like the brother said, they gotta learn from the school system to learn about epidurals. They didn't have no epidurals in the ancient world.
And you told him,
So
right?
those little extra detailed points wasn't needed.
It's junk mail, man.
It's damn spam, man.
Yeah, he started to put all this fucking spam in your mind. Put you in debt. You got that in a proverb?
And here it is, it takes some.
You might learn some anesthesics,
Here it is. Your baby is gonna naturally, a baby is naturally
Yeah,
gonna come out of a woman. The Most High, the scriptures clearly tell you that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, that a baby, basically, once that time is up, nobody can stop that, man.
Yeah.
It's coming because it's of the Lord. But here it is, this devil, he decides, well, I'm gonna get 50,000 off of that. I'm gonna charge you. I'm gonna charge you money to deliver a baby that's gonna naturally come out of you.
Oh, right. It's gonna come regardless if you're at the hospital or not.
Yeah, then they put taxes on C-sections.
Yep.
They get like a $10,000 bonus, something like that for C-sections.
So the world, if you have a C-section, you have to have it. You have to.
Going back to the fourth. Yeah.
All right, this is Proverbs 6:30. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry.
Yeah, the Lord said, don't despise a thief that actually steals to satisfy his soul when he's hungry. So you have these petty thieves that are going to these local convenience stores and they might steal a bag of Doritos, a Snicker bar, and a Phantom. A lot of them stealing to make it to the next day because they ain't got shit in their fridge. But you have these fucking Arabs, like this individual, he come from that popped up. Yeah, he a goddamn Arab. I just say that for he a fucking heathen. I just said it just for the sake of it. But he a fucking heathen. But his people, they'll make millions off of these ghettos. Billions collectively off of these different ghettos. But you'll steal a 25-cent bag of chips. It's really worth 25 cents. It should be like $1.79 now.
Right.
The little bag you open the shit, air. Yeah, it's like 30% chips in the shit.
5 ounces of air.
All that goddamn air. But Jake will steal it because Jake ain't got shit in the fridge. And what the Arabs want to do, they want to goddamn ban you out the whole city.
Yeah, fakir. Get out of my store.
Hitting you with the stick and shit. But the scripture says don't even despise a man that actually steals to satisfy his soul. Because at the end of the day, certain things are owed to the poor. The poor need certain things, man. And we understood that back in the ancient world. And at the end of the day, even though certain individuals were poor, certain individuals just fell on bad times. And the Most High had a welfare structure to actually feed the poor. It actually tells you that with the also in Acts. With the Acts, the 6th chapter with the widows. There's some more on that Proverbs.
This is Proverbs 6:30. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry.
Yeah, the world actually hates thieves. These different petty thieves, these so-called blacks and Latinos that go to these little convenience stores and Walmarts and different areas. Some individuals will go to these different CVS's and steal ibuprofen because they got certain headaches. Their bodies might be all fucked up, so they suffer from aches, pains, and stuff. So they need certain drugs to actually get them to the next day. And they'll despise them. What they'll do, they'll lock them up, ban them out the program. But the so-called white man, he's a fucking loan shark, man. He's still millions, billions, trillions. I'm
Still-
talking low numbers.
He's still countries.
He's still countries.
He's still things in you that you didn't even think was possible.
Like that, right?
He's still the air.
He steals your energy. See, he still don't want you to get on the job to still just. He steals your soul, man. That job, like a job, like that's why, like you were saying, job joke, man. Persecution. You know, because with these jobs, man, he steals your soul.
Right. I actually have good days of waking up, but then I think about my job. I'm like, I'm not even angry going to work. It's just there.
You be defeated. It be Friday, and you defeated by getting up on Monday morning.
Hell yeah.
Right.
You be like, I don't wanna- you sound like a little kid. I'm gonna do this. That shit be it's some pressure, man.
Yeah.
Then you working these fucking crazy ass hours on these jobs. Body all broken down. You can't even cook when you get home. So what you gotta do? You ain't gonna sit down and go to no goddamn Outback after work. You gonna bust your ass for 10 hours? You can fall asleep at the damn table. You better sit down and wait 25 minutes for a plate of food?
You can't even afford that. What you gonna do? You gonna go to American Deli. You gonna get you 2 pieces of fried white, some French fries.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
Hey, but you know what? That Chick-fil-A, that's good eating. 9 times a day, you gonna take your ass to Little Caesars, get you a $5 pizza with a big soda, and that's your dinner.
And that's how the fast food market profited because of the fast-paced lifestyle of this country. Going back to these other countries, when you go to these other countries, they're very pleasurable, so to speak. They're very nice people. Why? Because the stress level is way lower. Man. They don't have to always fucking rip and run. And in a lot of countries, they don't even have cars, man. Yeah. The MARTA takes you all over, like certain places in Europe. You could go from France to Greece.
Italy.
You can go to Italy. You can go to
Amsterdam.
Bulgaria. Them transit routes are very, very far.
I think you can take.
And it's cheap.
You can go through Germany, go through France. You can sightsee.
Bullet trains they got over there, go like 200-300 miles an hour.
Yeah, in Japan and Tokyo.
Cross the country in no time.
Okinawa to Tokyo in goddamn 20 minutes.
Yeah, 'cause those people over there, they're not manipulating like that's why they stress levels.
Oh, and then they'll eat the food. Like you'll look at if you look at school lunch in like Switzerland and like certain parts of Germany, they be eating like real food. They have a nice set of greens. They'll probably have like a green smoothie. They'll probably have some good oven cooked chicken. Like the chefs, the cafeteria ladies over there in those countries, those are real chefs. Those are mothers. Like they actually cook that food with rosemary. They'll actually, marinate it. They'll actually cook it so the child will be satisfied. But you go to eat these school lunches, they just slap the plate in your fucking face.
Because the school's here, everything in this place here in America is setting you niggas up for prison base. That's why the school system give that nasty ass tray and slap the food on it, so that a lot of you is already being indoctrinated. That's why the so-called black child, I said it a few weeks ago, the so-called nigga child around America is 80% oodles and noodles, man. Yeah. Because, hey, Esau like, we're gonna feed your ass oodles and noodles when you're you, and when you get to prison, you're gonna be eating all kind of prison spreads. You're gonna add chips. Yeah. That's why niggas get to prison, they get nice with it.
Oh, they get nice with it.
We gonna put some mayonnaise, some relish, some honey, some chips.
Because they eat it their whole life.
Tuna fish in pockets. We gotta spread, man, because you've been eating that way since you was 5 years old.
Yeah, and you know when you in school and you get in trouble and they'll put you in like silent lunch. They'll give you an option of like peanut butter and jelly, and they'll put a salad as an option. But it's like, ain't the salad supposed to be fucking good for you? But when you it's punishment, you gotta eat the salad. But when you actually eat the regular, what they always give you fucking pizza. The pizzas be like 2-3 days old. It should be old as hell. Burgers, all that food. And they wonder why you be lethargic as hell after the next period, man. After lunch to the next period you go in. You be sleepy as shit. You can't retain no information.
You ain't supposed to have items after you eat. You're supposed to feel energized and ready.
That food gives you energy,
man. That itis is kicking in before you, as you walk into class. Hell yeah. How the fuck
be sleeping in
the
class.
I just ate in that room a few minutes ago got me sleepy right now. You didn't even get an hour into the digestive system. You already falling out.
Damn.
Yeah, that goes
I mean, that food don't have no life.
That goes into the witchcraft again with the media, because they portray America as this great place and everybody has to come here. When you go to other countries like we mentioned, man, the work week is like what, 4 days?
Yeah.
You get off at 2 o'clock. You get time to spend time with your family.
You get time to pop your woman.
Yeah, you get time to pop your woman. But
Raise the children. Fuck popping it. Raise the children. Be in your children's life. Hey, there was a video I seen. I think it was like Sweden or one of them, you know, one of them cutesy countries. You know.
Yeah.
And it was, they showed a prison, man. It was like the comparison of prison, the prison system there versus here. I said, shit.
Make you want to go to prison.
It made me want to go over there and commit a crime.
Yeah.
To go to prison.
You can have sex in some of them prisons. Women come in and give you massages. Some of them prisons be decked out. And that's how you know this is worse than fucking prison, man. Yeah. Certain, she said, oh God. Yeah, you goddamn right. This is worse than prison. Hey, because this is our prison. Even though, see, they don't see it. They're like, prison? What? These crackers be having $400,000 or $500,000 in their bank account. Unless we through.
Well, this is like prison too. She don't. They just stupider slaves. They stupider prisoners than us.
That's all.
We recognize our prison because Esau puts it in our faces as our prison. Esau give them a little bit of goodies because you got to keep in mind these devils, man. They're a few steps away from the cave anyway. They're only but a few centuries away from being the cavemen and women that they naturally are. So of course, being in a high rise, that's good living. You know, being able to go to Ruth Chris and eat a steak, that's good living. They was eating juniper roots and bugs out of each other about 500 years ago.
Like they were the monkeys.
Damn near yesterday.
Damn near yesterday, really.
This is Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all
And
over
this people is us. We robbed and spoiled. When you go into the accounts of King Solomon, his living, we lived like true kings. You didn't even have to be on the throne to live like a king during the time of Solomon. That was the pinnacle of how the Most High wanted everything to be established. Because when you go through the blueprint of how the Most High wanted it, the Most High put the blueprint really on Moses to go to the promised land, to inherit the land of Canaan, the land flowing with milk and honey. Now, when Moses actually marched his way, he didn't make it, of course, but you had Joshua, that was his successor, and he killed the kings, and he destroyed the 31 kings, so on forward, and continuing on, you had David. David that was actually cleaning up shop. He cleaned up the Philistines' land, he took over Jerusalem, he got the different strongholds and things of that nature, and that's when we sat on the throne. But after that, that's when peace was supposed to be established. That's why King Solomon's kingdom, which was the kingdom of peace, it was supposed to be like that forever. And really greater than that, because it was going to constantly go up, But after that, it fell. It diminished.
It was just a glimpse of what's to come. It just wasn't time yet. It wasn't time.
But we got robbed out of all those riches, dealing with the Babylonian captivity. When you go into Nebuchadnezzar, his ransacking, they stole all the gems, all the gold, the big boy menorahs. But back then, when you look at those, like the tabernacles, you will see the image of the tabernacle. We had a menorah damn near as big as this tree, man. Fully golden plated.
The cherubim or the door. Man, that door at the gate called Beautiful. Man, you look at pictures of it. Man, that door is about as high as that tree. That's the door to the entrance to it. So we had the riches, we had the resources, overlaid with gold, and we had the chittim wood,
Cedars of Lebanon. But we fell from our grandeur and we got robbed and spoiled by the enemy. And one enemy took down the next enemy. One kingdom took down the next, and we lived in the last kingdom, which is America.
We can't get our ass whooped no more, really.
No more ass whooping. This is the last one. And that's why, hey, one of the best scriptures is Lamentations, the 4th chapter. And this is over. This ass whooping is
It's accomplished.
And another good one is Job, where it says he have swallowed down riches and he shall vomit them up. Because this white man is living high off the hall. He living high. That's our money.
Good.
That's my money.
You stunting and living off of.
Right. They look down on us.
Hey,
Yeah.
like on Life with Eddie Murphy and all. That's my granddaddy's wife. Yeah, my granddaddy watched that.
Yeah.
All this shit, man. What was that? You was speaking on that about all these fucking movies, man. All the piracy, because you piracy the essence of the scriptures to make these movies. You gotta pay up for that shit.
Yeah, you got a lot of pay.
Esau, here it is. Here it is. You go online and you'll take a picture. Let's say you have a clothing line, right? You're like, oh, I like that picture. you decide I'm gonna put on my shirt, that company come behind you and be like, hey, you owe us. We come to the realization that because
They're not getting paid for that.
you use Mickey Mouse on you use my trademark image of Mickey Mouse on your shirt, you owe us 90% of those profits. So you gotta pay for all that shit,
pay for
man.
all that.
All these movies, this music, this art, the food, you know, the essence of life, you gotta pay up, man.
God.
You are a fucking pirate, man. Pirate.
You owe us you.
What's the word for that? It's called
And they,
what is it? Intelligence intellectual
intellectual property.
intellectual property.
Intellectual property. Yeah.
That's what it's called. Because Esau will come in and take from you because you're
Infringing on his intellectual
yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly. You do the same thing with us. You set up your little Hebrew Israelite movies.
Yep.
Your God, your Christian movies.
The Bible movies.
Bible movies. All these Bible books, these
You owe us
Bible
for the payment
stores.
of the price.
You got a lot to fucking pay for.
No, they was for all that shit, man. And he's gonna pay.
Green pass.
And you know what's so heavy? It's things that some of us probably wrote in our past lives that this motherfucker's making money on right now on us that we can't even make money off of.
That's crazy.
We don't even know who we are in the spirit. This brother right here could have been a great pianist going back 4 or 5 centuries ago.
Yeah, the Renaissance.
The Renaissance period. And they taking his melody that he created and playing it in they fucking restaurants that you can't even go eat in.
Like
Right.
you said,
What y'all call elevator music.
yeah, because all that Renaissance art, all that Renaissance art, that style, even the architectural structuring of these different buildings, crazy. Man, that go back to us, man. The complex structure, the development. Oh, well, when the so-called white man came here, he got a lot of his agricultural influence from Gad, man. How to till and develop the land.
Well, he got it all from Gad because they didn't know how to till this region of the world.
Especially this southeastern red clay.
Yep.
Because you know, in the southeast, it's only but
There's so many different
it's
types
only
of
but like
deposits.
two places in the world. 'Cause it's only like 2 or 3 places in the world that has red clay in the earth like we do here. So when they got here in the southeast region, they didn't know how to work this area. You know?
Bedrock.
Yep.
You got bedrock along the coast, and as you come in, you got red clay, and I think you also got you got certain dark soil spots. I'm about like Georgia, like South Carolina, Georgia,
Yeah,
that area.
these red clay states.
I mean, that is
Yeah.
Georgia geography.
And see, that's what I'm saying. But with Esau had to get all of that from us. Right? What was your view?
Well, I got to skip it. Did you read Obadiah? If not, I'll go ahead and read it. It's Obadiah 1 and 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? So, you know, like Brother Barzal, he was speaking about earlier, you know, it's you know, like there's a way to leave certain things, but Esau will steal every damn thing, man.
Yeah.
You know? Okay? He'll come in by night, you know, sneakily, okay? And then you wake up in the morning and you know, you ain't got shit. You waking up in the middle of the ocean,
And like
floating on a box, you know,
she,
box spring.
about it, she didn't
Like Castaway.
You know, yeah, like Castaway. Meanwhile, your whole house, your land, your riches, your woman, your kids, everything is stolen, man.
Yeah, go into your these lower living neighborhoods or apartment buildings. Every month you go in there, somewhere in there there's gonna be somebody's goods, their personal belongings evicted and thrown out into the middle of the street. You know? And what is Esau losing by having you? First of all, where that typically happens, that Jake be living in neighborhoods that Esau don't want to live in. You know, we don't even want to live in $400 or $500 a month apartments. But Esau don't care. What is he really losing money by missing out on your $1,100?
Hell no.
Here it is. You done missed the rent 2 months. Your rent might be $600 a month. You live in a project, so that's $1,200. Esau act like his life comes to an end because you couldn't pay $1,200.
I need it all.
He needs it all. He gonna put late fees on it.
Yep, eviction.
He gonna put eviction notice fees on it. He gonna put court fees on it. Why? Because he's a greedy devil.
Get repossessed.
Oh, and then you gotta pay all that. All Esau takes full advantage of the poor, and that's wicked, man. You got that in Habakkuk?
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. It says, yeah, also, because he transgressed by wine.
Yeah, but like we was going into earlier, his ways, his philosophy, the way that he uses his military, his money, his medical field, all of these things is all his wine. Okay, keep going.
He is a proud man.
And he's proud. Why is he a proud man? Because he's not he does not humble himself to the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He said in his own heart, like we said earlier, Genesis, the first chapter, wasn't good enough for him. That's a proud thing to say. He may not have said it outwardly, like literally like, this is an error right here. But his actions showed for it. That's how he felt. That's why he destroyed the way that the man and the woman is. Nah, women don't have to have. Who said that a man can't have a vagina? The Most High, when he created it that way. All right, you got something to read out.
Yeah, this is Job 24 and 1. It says, why seem times are not hidden from the Almighty? Do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof.
That's Esau all day, man. Esau is who else has moved our landmarks, man? You devils, you came over here, you removed all kind of landmarks.
Violently.
Right? That's why it's known as you are on stolen land, because you removed those landmarks. And then you had the nerve to steal these landmarks and then put our names on them. Like Philadelphia, Cherokee County,
And also,
Seattle, Kansas,
Oconee County.
you know, Oconee County. Hell, you go to New York, all them, when you get in New York, all them cities and all them little areas, those are all Gadite names. Poughkeepsie, yeah, Minnesota, you know. So here it is, you'll take from us and then put our name on it. You know, keep going.
It says, they drive away the ass of the fatherless, they take the widow's ox for a pledge.
And see, here it is, a widow, a woman will lose her husband. Because she'll fight your war. He'll go to fight your war, die in your war. All you want to do is give a purple heart. Right? And but then, matter of fact, when you Google, we were just talking about this recently. The Winn-Dixie insurance policy.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only that, he'll put an insurance policy on that woman's husband when he was in the military, and instead of giving that money to the woman and to that family, he'll keep the money for his own self. That's a double thing. I'ma send your husband to fight my war, and when he dies, I'm gonna take the money from his death, and I'm gonna leave you just assed out. God bless America.
Right. Right. God bless America, because guess what? They're the real America.
God bless America.
The elite. You people are just here to just,
Yep, that's it.
just here.
Yeah, that's it. See what it says? That's going into that about widows, man. And the Most High is really big on how you handle widows and orphans.
That's right.
Most High don't play with stuff like that, you know? Which we are spiritually those widows and those orphans right now.
We're orphans.
We're orphans. We are, you know? But that's on a high spiritual level. But even on a carnal level, it's a way you handle the people of the Israelites. And you just don't give a damn. All right? You got anything on it? Yeah, don't worry about it. But I'll basically, when you go into it, is if you Google the Winn-Dixie insurance plan, basically Winn-Dixie was putting insurance policies on their employees and not telling the people. And then when they would die, they would come back and cash out on those insurance policies. The same thing that the military does. The military, they put insurance plans. That's why Esau's going to have to bring this World War III, because it's a money maker. Esau is losing money and riches. So he's going to make money off of the fact of he's going to be able to create weapons, right? That's going to generate money, using those weapons, selling those weapons, arms races, so on and so forth.
Especially now, this point with this nuclear technology advancing more and more, they need that dough.
They need it. They need it. They see what's going on in the other parts, and what the enemies are developing, and it's like we need more money. We need more.
Trump just pulled out the
On
nuclear.
the treaty with Russia.
See? What else? Casualties of war. There's money with casualties of war. You know, because what happens? So those bodies, he can take those dead bodies and harvest the organs. See, there's money. Wars. There's a lot of money to be made with Esau's wars, man. And Esau lines it up. Esau is he's a very cunning, calculated devil.
Hey, and what scripture says that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. So that's subtlety. You know, that's that's being real clever, real cunning, real smart. You know,
Thought out.
Yeah.
That's why the scriptures say.
Esau's a thoughtful person. He's full of thought. He's full of, you know, he's a very intellectual creature, intellectual beast.
The children of this world is wiser than the children of light.
That's right.
Yeah, it was in Ezekiel 28.
I can read
All right, keep
some more.
going with you. Read that in Job.
Yeah. This is Job 24:3. It says, they drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way.
They're the needy. Here it is. You're going to be late on your rent, right? And this devil, he don't want to give you the money to help you through your trying times. He does everything in his power to kick you while you're down and to tell you why it's your fault. It's your fault why you living the life that you're living. Why you're not accelerating the way that you're supposed to. It's your fault. That's why people look at you. Well, what did you do wrong? So I remember I had a conversation like this with my father, and I said, so you're insinuating that everybody that's in a bad situation doesn't want to be in a better situation. Who wants to live in the projects? Who wants to live check to check? Who wakes up in life and chooses that? You know what I'm saying? Who is choosing to struggle? Nobody is making that choice. But there's people in powerful positions that are making choices for you that are putting you in those struggles. Okay?
Rat
They
race.
hand you the option, for example, like if you got a car dealership, right? All right, and they're selling Maseratis and Toyotas. You know, the only choice is between a Maserati or a Toyota. If you ain't got the money, you gotta get a Toyota. If you got the money, you can buy a Maserati. You know? They're giving you, meanwhile, if it's like
The illusion
the
of
game,
choice.
right? It's the illusion of choice, and this is a game. It's all rigged. This world is rigged and set up, man. America, your only option in America to really get rich, especially for an Israelite, all right, is to basically sell out and be a damn jester and make himself a buffoon on television. You know, that's the only way for him to say that he made success.
Yeah, look at this guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's a rainbow-haired, flaming faggot.
Right.
But I highly doubt that when he chose that to be, it was more of a, well, that if this is the way I'm gonna get my money, I gotta do it. That's not really a choice, you know. You go to back to Habakkuk 2. We're gonna hold that, but I want to finish Habakkuk 2.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell,
Yep.
and is death, and cannot be
He
satisfied.
can't be satisfied, man. This devil has he has what's the eating disorder? It's an eating disorder where no matter how much you eat, you're never full. That's him. Whatever that disease is called, he suffers from. No matter how much he gets, it's never enough. And that's why we call him a young lion. He is a lion. He's a lion with a sensational appetite. See, we're that lion that just like with the Lion King, literally. Mufasa was like, listen, wherever the light is, that's our kingdom. But over there, don't go over there. Don't worry about it. And he was cool with that. Esau, on the other hand, man, fuck that, man. I want that over there too. You know, that's Esau for you. Esau has a wicked appetite. That's why the scriptures say he wants to fill his belly. You know, keep going.
kind. It says, it cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations.
Yeah, to what? Why did this devil gather all nations together? To oppress them. You know, you gather them all up, throw them in a concentration camp. And what's that concentration camp they threw us all up in? America. Everybody talking about what concentration camp? We in a concentration camp as we speak.
My brother,
We're located
so,
between.
it's like, let me know.
We're located between Conway Drive and Claremont Avenue of this concentration camp. That's all it is. And you know what? When you talk to these so-called white people, they know that. You know, like I said, Uber, and you have regular everyday Edomites, and they be up on game, man. You talk to them, they be like, sometimes you gotta kind of level it down, because it's like, the fuck do you know? Let me, you know, because you don't want to expose your hand. You know, you be in a car with somebody, you know, Jake, you just so happy to be able to talk to somebody. Yeah, you know what? And document number, da-da-da-da. Like, nah, tell me what you know. I ain't gonna tell you everything I know. You know, but these devils, they know what time it is, man. Like I said, they preparing for it too. You think these devils that walk up and down the street, you know, they just some simple ass Edomite? Hell no, man. These Edomites got guns.
They got guns. They
Food.
got food. They know what they call it, shit hit the fan survival skills. They know certain skill sets. They got certain supplies.
You know who I be watching on YouTube? What's her name? Prepper nurse. You ever heard of her? Yeah, she an Edomite woman, and she just goes into, you know, prepping for that day, man. You know, I think her name is like prep. There's something nurse. She's like ex-military, but she's an Edomite woman. See, the other nations, these women, they be up on game of the other nations. You know why Esau knows that? Because Esau knows that this thing that's coming is for his ass.
Yep.
That's why he's prepping for it. Where you ever see a so-called goop with his shit hit the fan package? You ain't never seen no Hamite with a shit hits the fan. This is what we're gonna do.
We got spears.
Yeah, the shit already hit the fan in those countries. They ain't no pressure.
Right. We're back to the Congo.
We're gonna go back to the Congo. All right? But you Edomites, you know why? Because the spirit is against your ass.
Yeah, you got this one. I think I was watching one of the prepper videos. They were showing how to actually get water in that day. But you know these different water pipes we have like these reserves, and it's a certain way you can actually extract the water out of it. It's a certain got sand at the bottom. It's a way you can actually manipulate it and break it down, and you can actually get all kind of water reserves out of that shit. But a nigga don't know that trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they show you how to make coal from nothing.
You kind of know how to start fires without gas.
These devils know how to start fire with nothing.
Yeah.
It's a stick. Stick in some straw.
Oh, they gotta take gas from multiple cars and put in another car.
Like cipher gas.
Yeah. Hot wire. You know, they be doing all the little tricks. You be watching these survival shows.
Yeah.
Or these
Stitch up your wounds. Maybe you have a big gash in your arm. They know how to sew it.
They know how to use pits. They know how to use drip. They know how to use byproduct waste.
To lure certain animals in, and then they capture the animal and they use pits to do it.
Yeah, watch that show. I mean, it's an off show, but I mean, what isn't off?
Right. Everything.
Literally, like what isn't off? So you gotta sometimes get out of your, you know, your ew is gross. Ew. And be a fucking man, you know. But what's that show on Discovery? Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, they got Naked and Afraid. They got what's the other survival show with them two Edomites, and two guys, and they roughing it in the wilderness. Dual Survival.
Yeah, Tools. That's another one. But you watch them shows, they show you who be the main contestants on the show. Esau.
So-called white people. Yeah.
Esau. They'll take Esau. Esau is so bad with the survival. You could throw him in a country that he's never been to, butt naked. Butt naked with one tool.
Yep.
And he's gonna survive.
That's how you know
He's not gonna die. You niggas is gonna die in your neighborhood.
With certain resources.
With certain resources. You niggas is gonna get swept through in this time, man.
That's right.
You niggas are so unprepared. That's how you know Esau is unfair as a motherfucker, man. He set this stage up so bad And he gave you no room to prepare.
Yep.
You niggas is through, man. You know, you be out and about and you just, you know, sometimes you just be looking at people. I be gauging people. I be like, man, you gonna die 5 minutes in the Jacob. You got a time clock. You got a time clock. You gonna die 5. As soon as martial law is declared, you dying. You dying.
You gonna be the first casualty of the war.
You ain't even gonna go through that.
You're not even gonna go through
It's
it.
gonna drop.
You know, that's how you look at people. At least I do.
You got to.
You got something you say?
Oh, I'm trying to find it.
I gotta bring out what you got.
Isaiah 3 and 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground.
Yeah, you people, you gonna be through, man. All right? You people gonna be through on levels that, hey, it's gonna be a shocker, man. You know, you women, but especially you Jakes, man. The Most High, that's how much the Most High hates you 2/3 too. The Most High hated 2/3 so much, he didn't even give them a fighting chance for the times that's coming. You niggas are addicted to social media. You addicted to just the bad foods. You have absolutely no skills.
No skill.
You people have no skills, none that matter. A lot of you people, you're gonna be dying. A lot of people, you just might luckily enough to kill something, kill a deer,
And then don't get a chance to.
and don't cut it up properly. You know,
That's a science.
that's a science in itself.
Like you look at these master butchers when they be cutting up certain cuts of food, man, you gotta know that shit.
Oh, it's
And
actually
it's a way that
8%.
actually, when you sit like this, you gotta actually tie in certain things so that the excrement doesn't come out of the
Shit bag.
the shit bag, internal and things of that nature. And on top of that, cooking it, how to start a live fire,
Get about it.
how to keep, not only how to start it, how to maintain it and make it to the point where you actually cook something.
See, like I was looking into when you look into the history of Jamaica, the Maroons. See, that famous dish that we all love, jerk chicken, that came from the Maroons because they would cook it. They would be on the move. They was actually at war. That dish came from being in war. So, and when you watch how they would do it, like it's not a dish that's like it's not a pretty dish. It's not a luxury dish. That was a dish that was created in the middle of war. So like they be in war and they have the pimento, because what jerk is made from is pimento seeds. It comes from the pimento tree. And they would take the tree and they had the leaves and they have actually like the leaves to keep the smoke down, because they would have actually they had the jerk chicken, like you know, Mama Jerks is like that smoky taste.
Yeah, right.
So they have it underneath the leaves, why? To keep that smoke down. So the people you fighting, you don't give off your location. So there was an art even into there was the way that they created the dish from the seasons. You know, what goes into the marinating, like your green onions, things that you can find along the way, the pimento seeds, cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of oil or water, onion, garlic, and then you make that paste and you put it on the chicken and then you smoke it, you cook it kind of, you know, you keep the smoke down so people can't see. You niggas are gonna be out here cooking whatever you can find, and that smoke will carry from that smoke will carry from downtown Atlanta to Cobb County Parkway.
This is gonna bring people from all directions over here. Before you eat it, your ass gonna be dead.
That's how you're gonna be able to enjoy it.
Because just like you said, you got luxury foods, you got survival foods.
Yep.
There's certain ways you could cook in the snow. Certain ways you could cook in the rain. You can start fires in the rain. When it's wet, you got wet grass and things of that nature. There's certain ways you could do those different things. Now through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, do we know all these things? Are we just master survivors? No.
I just going. What's up? You want to stand over here so we can talk to you, or?
It's Sub-Zero.
Why do you guys think that white people are the devil?
Why shouldn't we?
Right.
I don't know. I'm nice. What do you mean by nice?
What's that mean? Yeah, man. Somebody get Psalms 58. Smooth.
I'm nice and I do fun things, and you know, I like to not hate on anybody.
Do you believe in justice?
injustice.
So do you believe in injustices and justice? Do you believe that justice shall be served? Do you believe in justice? Do you believe in justice?
Well, yeah, sure. What kind of justice are you talking about specifically?
Well, do you believe that your people, or if you are or so-called white people, should pay for the injustices that they've done to our people? Do you not believe that?
Well, in what way would you suggest we pay for
No. You asked the question, though.
Do you believe in that? Do you
I don't know
believe in
I don't know
justice?
what specifically you're asking about.
No, well, do you believe that if somebody does something wrong to a society, that they should have to pay for the wrong that they have done? Do you believe that Osama bin Laden?
But like how much per person? How much
Well, get Isaiah 13.
per ancestor?
Well, that's not
In
for.
my family that owned slaves. maybe.
Listen. Well, let me say this. This is not for.
How much,
those-
like, based on the pigment of my skin? Is that how you're
It's
gonna,
not about
like, dole it out?
pigmentation. We didn't say anything about that. I just asked a broad question.
I believe in justice and injustice, yeah, but what you're asking about is reparations for perceived injustices and real injustices, of course, too. But what specifically do you suggest we do about it?
Well, all we want is what the Lord wants.
Really?
That's really all we want. The Lord. See, all we're here to do
I'm an
is.
atheist and I don't believe in
Well,
God.
even so, that you're actually in the right spirit, because the true Heavenly Father is not your God. Yeah, if you want to get that, you can get that. So I'm really not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. But as far as what we want what's right. Matter of fact, get Revelation 13.
Okay, but what specifically
Hold on,
do you
we're going to
want?
the scripture out real quick. This is our platform.
I don't want to hear your scripture.
Of course, well, that's part of the reason why we believe that you're the devil. Because only the devil would be afraid of hearing the words of God, right?
I'm not afraid of it.
So
I
bring
just
it up.
don't want to hear it because it's not going to be any
What
new
would it say?
information to me.
Resist
I
the
grew up
devil,
in a
so
Catholic
believe.
school, and I'm not interested.
Bring it
Okay, I'm not interested in
Revelation
converting.
chapter
Get rid